guys.
No problem. 529-1450 is the phone number, 529-1450. Good morning. You're on Fantasy Football 101. Go ahead.
Or don't. That's fine, too.
Let's try another one.
Okay.
529-1450. Good morning.
Yeah, guys, I called you up earlier, but that gentleman about the trade kind of like interested me. I had an offer for McNabb for Forte, but now the guy's like kind of getting like a little shaky on the deal. So I was wondering, should I add McNabb and either Colston, Donnie Avery, Jackson, Jennings, Lee Evans, or Scheffler? I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that tight end's last name.
Yeah.
From Denver. Should I add him to the trade for either? He's willing to offer either Jackson, Forte, or Slayton for either one of those running backs. Since I'm shy on running backs, all I have is Brian Westbrook.
Well, since you are in need of a running back, yeah, I guess I'd have to throw in one of those guys. I'm not sure which one I'd throw in there. It's a pretty tough situation for yourself. I thought McNabb straight up for Forte is not a bad trade.
I think that's a good, because listen, Forte's numbers over the last 4 weeks, granted he scored, I think, 2 or maybe 3 touchdowns, but yardage-wise, he's rushed for about 68 yards a game. He's not going to get you a lot of yardage amounts at all. So don't give up the farm for Forte just yet. I'm like Adam. I think McNabb for Forte is very fair.
Yep.
All right, thanks a lot, guys.
All right, good luck to you. 529-1450 is the phone number, 529-1450. We do have to run through our studs, duds, and sleepers for the weekend. And again, we're always streaming live on the webpage at sportsradio1450.com, where you can log on, click on Fantasy Football 101, and check the injury update list. And Mark does a great job of updating that each and every week, and he will update it again before game time tomorrow. And make sure you check that out. You can also email Mark if you'd like, ff101-mark@hotmail.com. And I believe we have another email address on the webpage, too, but I still don't know what that is exactly, so I won't spit that out there to you. And you can also vote on the poll question at sportsradio1450.com. Who would you like to have at your Super Bowl party?
I can't believe that no one thinks that it would be a good idea to get
have all of us,
together.
I know.
Like, no, I've heard these guys together. I don't want them in my house.
They never get a word in edgewise, that's why. 529-1450 is the phone number. Good morning, you're on Fantasy Football 101. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Can you turn your radio down for us, please?
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's all right.
That's all right.
Okay, I have 2 situations, and I kind of need you to, once again, reassure me. First of all, I need a lot of reassuring. First of all, I have Kellen Winslow and I have Owen Daniels as my tight ends. I'm for now still starting Owen Daniels, but like you said, Winslow's starting. Should I go ahead and take that flyer and put him in now, or should I just stick with Daniels for now?
Yeah,
do not put Winslow in just yet. Daniels has been too good. In fact, I'd be tempted to play Daniels the rest of the way, and then just see how Winslow goes. You can't sit Daniels. Daniels right now, along with Witten, is absolutely the best fantasy tight end out there.
And coming back against Baltimore is not really the ideal situation for Kellen Winslow. So Owen Daniels is where it's at. Matt Schaub's throwing the ball as well as anyone in the league right now.
Great. Well, the other part of my concern is that in my league, Marvin Harrison, I was able to pick him up as a waiver wire pickup, which I guess isn't too much of a shock now. But still, I just can't believe that he's gone from being Marvin Harrison to being, one of Tim Werfel's backup receivers or something like that. I just can't believe that. So I picked him up, and I've had my league, all the guys in my league have just given me a whole lot of joking and just have made fun of me for doing that. Tell me that there might be some light at the end of the tunnel with him.
Marvin Harrison still has fantasy value, but only you have to pick in your spots. They've got a tough schedule the rest of the way, but they do have a few games, like I think this weekend against New England, I think Marvin will have a decent game. He's not the Marvin Harrison of 4 or 5 years ago. He can't create distance between himself and corners anymore, but he's still good to have in spots.
For a waiver wire pickup, there's no shame in Marvin Harrison.
No, not at all.
Pick up for nothing. I mean, to essentially acquire Marvin Harrison for no one in a trade is a pretty good deal. So.
Okay. Well, thank you, guys.
Yeah, that's better than the Bobby Ingrams of the world that are available in our league. I'll take Harrison any day of the week.
There's your reassurance.
529-1450. Good morning. You're on Fantasy Football 101.
If anyone plays Winslow, they're nuts.
Well, she agrees with us.
Yeah. Thanks.
I think she's making a joke.
I think so too.
She really are
weirdos.
Winslow and nuts. I don't know. I think she had a little joke.
Halloween's over, lady.
And there's still some ghouls and goblins out there. Fantasy Football 101 right here on Sports Radio 1450. We come at you each and every Saturday morning from 8 until 9. The phone number is 529-1450, 529-1450. Put it in your cell phone, write it down, whatever you need to do, take a picture. I don't care. But it's time now to run through our studs, duds, and sleepers for the week. Mark, let's hear your studs, duds, and sleepers.
Stud, I have Brandon Marshall playing Miami. Miami has time with big physical receivers. Andre Johnson went for 178 yards and a score, and Bolden 140 yards and 3 scores. Dud, Greg Jennings against Tennessee. Tennessee's just dynamite defensively. They don't allow any receivers any yards. Sleeper, Reggie Williams. I don't know where this comes from. I must have been insane at the time I wrote this down. But against Cincinnati, Cincinnati's given up 13 passing touchdowns this season, and Williams and Gerard last year started to click late in the season, and I'm possibly hoping maybe they'll do the same this year.
Sounds good. Those are Mark's studs, duds, and sleepers. Eric?
My stud, I like Kurt Warner this week. Returning to St. Louis, he's been throwing the ball really well. St. Louis secondary, not that good. So I like Kurt Warner coming back to St. Louis. He's thrown 2 touchdowns in, I think, 13 of the last 14 games, at least 2 touchdowns. So he'll put up nice numbers. My dud, I'm going to say Clinton Portis, and especially, I'm sorry, Mark, I'm sorry, especially if Santana Moss does not play, because that will allow Pittsburgh to just stack the box and focus solely on Clinton Portis, and that is trouble because Pittsburgh has a tough run D.
Mm-hmm.
And my sleeper this week is a wide receiver Steve Smith from the New York Giants. Now, he seems to be catching some. He had kind of an off week last week, but especially in point per reception leagues, he's catching some balls. And against Dallas, I think he might have a nice week. There you go.
Well, going along with that, my stud is Eli Manning. I think he is going to air it out a little bit this week against Dallas, especially at home. So that's where my stud stands. And my dud, Brad Johnson or whoever's going to be quarterbacking for the Cowboys. I think the Giants' defense is going to light them up this week. And my sleeper, I had 2 written down. And one of the callers alluded to it earlier in the show, talking about Chad Pennington comparing to Matt Ryan. Who would you rather go with? Well, my sleeper this week is going to be Matt Ryan. I think he's getting a lot more comfortable with that offense. He likes to sling the football around, and they're playing the Raiders, and I think he's going to have a chance to throw the ball against the Raiders, so that's my sleeper. The other one I wrote down, though, is Maurice Jones-Drew, because I think, Jacksonville, we brought up Jacksonville at Cincinnati. Cincinnati cannot stop anybody, and I think that's the perfect time for Jones-Drew to slide in there, little dump-off passes to him, and motor his 5.5 butt down the field.
I'm starting Greg Jennings, and I'm going against Brandon Marshall and Jones-Drew, so I hope you guys are both dead wrong.
Well, that's the way it works on fantasy leagues. Thanks for tuning in this morning. Fantasy Football 101 on Sports Radio 1450. I'm Adam Stark, Eric Pedigo, Mark Graham, Nick Corelli. Big thanks to all of you guys. And we'll talk to you in Week 9. Good luck this week.
Green Hyundai certified #1 new and used car